And we're back. Oh my gosh, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. Apologies for the delay. I ended up having to reboot the whole PC, and then it decided to take its time. I think it is kind of funny that he's still not to the mushroom yet, even though that took several times longer than I thought it would. But yeah, my PC decided to like double reboot, which I was worried for a second. I had some other problem. And then had to reset my webcam settings because it changed resolutions on me. I just need to get a new cat cam. That's what it is. Something about the drivers, because they're both Logitech. I think there's an issue sometimes when one is off and one is on, and then you I was gonna say trigger. Then you switch one on, and they're both on. Sometimes they work. Sometimes it, like you saw, sometimes it freezes my camera. I'll try to fix or cut a lot of that in the VOD, but we haven't missed much. Unless we walk past something that was obvious that we missed, but... We're making our way uptown. Yeah, and then I'm the type that tries to give them a fair shake when I get a new piece of hardware. I'll install the software that comes with it most of the time, if it's not just straight plug and play like a keyboard. And Logitech, though, has some really chunky software that it comes with. I say that, but then I'm not even using their software. I've just got the camera itself as a source in Streamlabs, so who even knows? I love the current camera that I'm using right now for myself. That's a nice new camera. That's a, what is that, a 270? Let me see. No, that's the old one. The old one was a Logitech C270. The new one is the C922 ProStream. And it's not even the best on the market, but like it's as good as I need right now. And I love it. This other one, though, is a webcam that I've had for like 8 years. At least 5 years, but I think it's something like 8 years. So how long have those mushrooms been growing this time? Well, we let the green mushroom grow last time, and then we put a glowing mushroom next to it in hopes that one would grow large. I believe this should be the turn right here. You weren't satisfied with the C922? Went back to the old C920? I mean, do they... I guess you just go with like the basic drivers and it works just fine. Mine's okay, but I did have to fix some lighting. I had to make sure that I had a bit brighter lighting up above. Sure, I'll pick this up. Alright, here's the moment of truth. And by moment of truth, I mean in mere moments we will reach the moment of truth. Ah! Oh, but that's so far away. Wait, why is that green? I thought we put a purple one nearby. Do we need to swap them? If you don't start and close them before you go to OBS, the lighting will go sideways to Sunday. So we can use our Matic on this. I swear we put a purple one here and a green one here. So does the purple one turn into a green one and get large? In that case, do we have to swap them and then wait again? I mean, that may be the case. Oh, I should have used the Matic on this first. Oh, I'll eat it. We'll go back and get another one. Mushroom has turned into an abomination. Maybe it could have been used as a trampoline if it had grown closer to the edge. Okay, so I think we're on the right track. But the large one seemed green, so that's why I made the decision for the order that I did. What? You just plucked two of them? Alright, you're going closest to the edge. Now we need to go get the green one, which is back down this way. We did have an extra one, so... Or we had one growing not too far away. So if we plant these mushrooms again, and that's all that we do today, well, I guess we could walk. We could walk in the Hall of Eternity for just a little bit. But if that's all that we end up doing today, it'll be a pretty short, longing stream. And then the next time we get on would be Sunday, so 4 days times 13. 52 days will be counted down, so we'll be at day 211. Because that's not too bad. We still won't have ticked off more than half. So I won't feel pressed yet. I feel like we're playing this game at a healthy pace. Hey, Cole, thanks. Get the green one, don't eat this one. Let's use this. Yeah. Go back to that cliff. Kind of feel like having a lemonade. I haven't really had Hubert's before. There's a bunch of like pulp floating in it, so I hope it's texture is okay. Consuming this product may cause joy. Man, that is pretty good. No, I'm just gonna leave that open. Watermelon lemonade. Drinking energy drinks. Well, I mean, I've been there. I used to have a job where I would go in at 8 p.m. and work until 8 a.m. And I did that 3 nights a week. And I got paid salary for it, which was kind of nice because it was only 36 hours a week instead of the usual 40. And it was only 3 nights a week instead of 5 days a week. But it was 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So the rest of the world was just asleep for most of that. Me and another guy would sit and monitor IP addresses and such. Okay, right, I guess here? Yeah. Alright, there's not much more we can do here right now. We'll have to come back next time. So we'll send him down and we'll walk the Halls of Eternity for just a little bit. And then we'll play a little bit more RimWorld. See if we can kind of turn around the mess that we started last time. You know, I say that, but the mess wasn't our fault, right? It's a mess of a start just because we started on a type of mission that was lacking. So it wasn't exactly all watching IP addresses. So what it was is once per half hour, once per hour, I forget, it's been a while. But once every so often we would have to check and see if anything had come through and had been flagged as suspicious. It was a network security job, so we just had to check and see if anything had been flagged, and if it was, we didn't even actually do anything with the information other than send it over to the team that then investigated it. So we were just the watchers. But in the downtime in between that, we could kind of spend it getting certifications or doing all kinds of other stuff. So I spent a lot of the downtime programming something that made our hourly checks go by even faster, and bought some more efficiency and bought some more time for myself. And it got to the point where eventually we would, like, you know, watch Netflix and stuff like that, you know, pause it when we would do the check and then come back. But like we could knock out like a few movies every evening. Kind of. If I had, I mean, I don't know, if I had this game, I'd probably still try to multitask if it was just me in the game and I wasn't streaming. But yeah, no, it was definitely interesting. And then, like, if you slept during the day and then worked all night, there'd be a lot of Reddit to catch up on, but not much going on as far as what's being posted. Like, it was all already posted before you got to work. It was definitely an interesting experience. And then driving home, I did forget to mention that it was an hour drive to get there and an hour drive back, but because I only worked 3 days a week, I decided not to move during the time that I worked there. So it was an hour drive, which was a little rough. And then after working for 12 hours, driving home between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. definitely required some constitution. One of my favorite jobs that I ever had, though, just because the people I worked with were great, and it wasn't even the fact that we were had a lot of downtime that job ended up ending. It was because the contract ended up getting moved. It was like a contracted job for the company that I worked with. So they lost their big contract and then they had to let the team go, which was good and bad. You know, like it's bad to be laid off. No one likes that. And then yeah, it was a great job. So I didn't like losing that either, but then I ended up moving on and finding bigger and better things. Stuff's much better now. So you never know. Yeah, I did all that. I talked about all that and ranted, and now I'm just kind of like thinking about where we are on the map, and we're not even a third of the way back down just yet. You know what it is? I had my last caffeinated beverage of the evening, and it lasted quite a bit later than it normally does. So right now I'm just kind of like, I want more action in my game. I fear that I might not be able to give the longing the proper respect that I've been giving it all these hours that we've played. I don't know if I have more to rant about that job. Like, it was otherwise fun. Fun that I got to do other stuff. I got to program. I got to... I didn't really play games or anything. I didn't completely slack off on the job. I was productive most of the time. Like, yeah, we would have maybe the TV on or something, or Netflix or something, but we would still be working, or, like I said, getting certifications and stuff. That was back when I got an A+ certification, which, you know, for anyone who doesn't know, sounds fancy, but really it's, you know, can you make a printer work on a Windows 98 computer? And like white hat hacking certifications, physical security certifications. I learned how to pick a lock. That was fun. I haven't used it in such a long time that I'm probably really rusty, but I kind of remember. I should dig up that certification and keep it on me. That way, if I ever get any guff about owning a lockpick set, I can be like, look, I'm certified in physical security. I have to know how people break into things so that I can help prevent that from happening. It would be neat to go back and get like certifications in like cryptography and stuff like that, which I never really did delve into. But I have been thinking about getting back into programming. I keep going in and out of interest with Unity and thinking about programming a game. And then I think about the games that I would like to make. I don't know if they'd require Unity. But the games that I feel inspired to make, like the game right now in the back of my head that I feel inspired to make, would be one that would work best either on a mobile application or on a website. And I don't know anybody really right now that wants to go play a browser-based game. Those are so very 2005. Wouldn't be a Flash game though. But one day I would like to kind of give it a shot. A lot of my free time though lately I've been putting towards streaming in a good way. Like, I don't want to cut into my streaming to start doing something else because I only really have time for one or two hobbies at a time. One or two right now being streaming and gaming, and I can kind of knock two out at one time while I'm streaming. There are some games that I don't want to stream because I'd rather slowly enjoy them. Like Animal Crossing right now. Like, you know, I'm kind of on the fence about streaming it because it would always be like the night. I would be streaming in the evening as far as the gameplay is concerned, and it wouldn't be a different experience. And when I play it in my personal time, like I might check it out on the weekend, I might check it out in the morning. During the day I might check it out right when I get home from work or before bed, so I might have like daytime, nighttime. Strat says, to be fair, most mobile games as well as some PC games are online web-based games. Anti-Hero is one of them. Yeah. Yeah, that and Unity, depending on your assets that you use, you could make a game for any system / any, you know, PC compliant, like, or PC, Mac, Linux, or browser, and your game could just be ported to any of those if you do it right. And so I would consider using Unity. Yeah, go ahead and pick that up. Oh, it faded away. I think I would consider using Unity. I've watched a lot of Quill18's videos, and Quill18 is really awesome. And not only does he explain everything really well in a way that you can follow along, but if you're intently watching, like, you know, you could see his code, you could see his examples. Like, I love pulling up his streams where he's already got like a whole series. Oh, here's that hallway. Watch us hear the noise. I'm not going to stop for it, but yeah, he'll have like a whole series about building a certain type of game or the beginning part of a game just to kind of get you started, and you can kind of go back and watch them all in sequential order, and he'll do them on stream, but I highly recommend Quill18. My drinking sounds. Ooh, a little sour. I guess I don't know what I should have expected. It's watermelon lemonade. I think the issue with Unity is that you have to know Unity really well to be able to optimize your game code. Maybe so. It doesn't seem like it'd be too difficult to get a hold of. You just probably have to dive in. Because it seems like it has a really strong and helpful user base, and like subreddit and websites that you can go to like get assistance. That, and there's like pre-packaged things that you can start off with, like bootstraps and assets and things like that. And if you, of course, you want to make a nice, like, professional looking game, you'd want your own assets, of course. But, you have a lot of placeholder options to get you started. And, yeah, and the fact that you can program in what is it, C# or JavaScript is kind of neat. It's not Python, right? It's JavaScript, I believe. C# Unity script, also known as JavaScript. Yeah, so it's a JavaScript-esque language. But yeah, I mean, to your point though, you were probably more focusing on the optimization part, which, yeah, that makes sense. I wouldn't know the first thing about optimizing it. Honestly, I wouldn't know the first thing about getting started anymore. I'd have to go back and redo some tutorials and kind of restart from scratch, but yeah. You have a fair amount of code text editors running on JavaScript as well, brackets, Atom, so on. Which is really funny that so many other things rely on it, because I would say JavaScript is a relatively user-friendly programming language. It's just that it gets so busted sometimes when you're using it in the browser. So I've always preferred to use prepackaged stuff like jQuery and whatnot, so that I don't have to do a lot of my own troubleshooting to get stuff looking right. Thought we'd be able to pick it up. And I haven't really delved into like the HTML5. What's the template called? I keep wanting to call it Bootstrap. Is it? It's not Bootstrap. It's boilerplate. That's the word I was looking for. I haven't really delved into anything that's changed with that in the last 5, almost 10 years. But that used to be my bread and butter. I used to do a lot of side gigs of making updates to people's websites, doing WordPress installations, which also required a lot of PHP, which now looking back, I spent a lot more time learning PHP than I probably should have investment wise. Oh yeah, that's true. That would explain why I was thinking of Bootstrap too. You had your own too? If you had like a preference, like, I mean, what I tended to like to do was get the most recent version of Boilerplate and then just edit everything to what I knew I liked to start with, and then that's my boilerplate for every project going forward. But it's been so long since I've done freelance work and freelance web design. And then I don't know how, I don't know how saturated the market is now with people being able to make their own, or people not really caring about a website as much, using social media instead and apps. Back in 2006, I was a website making fiend. We're talking MySQL installations, databases, moving parts on your website, back when everything had gradients and shadows. You get these flat paper icons out of here. Better curve the sides of my boxes with CSS. Everyone and their mother's at it. As far as I'm concerned, there isn't any money to make anymore. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. So if I ever make something again, it would probably just be for myself, to save myself $10. Even then, I might not even. Depending on, you know, if it's just a matter of popping on GoDaddy and then hosting something that already exists. Or getting a Squarespace account. Hashtag not sponsored. We approacheth. How long do we want to walk in the halls? I'm kind of going in with the same mindset that I had yesterday. If we get a ton of paper, say we turn around, I know that eventually, I did have that kind of spoiled for me, that eventually it's not going to give you much more than paper, but I just don't feel like we have like all the books. We might. Closed down my own business in 2013. Best decision I ever made. Was that primarily what it was? Web design? Because if so, 2013 was probably the right time to cut out. Loud coal sound. All right, it's 45 minutes after the hour. So we walk for I'm debating 5 or 10 minutes. With focus on accessibility, usability, the old terms from back in the day. Well, yeah, I mean, I would imagine that that a lot of people who really wanted to stay in development probably converted their skills over to like UI design and apps, which would probably still be prized to this day because so many apps come out and they're just not as user friendly. And if a company got enough complaints about it, they might be looking for somebody who specializes in usability or accessibility. That paper, though. So I did try Half-Life Alyx yesterday, and man, it was amazing. I wouldn't mind streaming that, but it would take me a little bit longer to get that all set up to a point where I would be happy with it. I couldn't just ad hoc pop it on right now and play it on tonight's stream. But I will seriously consider streaming it. I'd also need to get it working where you can pull up your left hand and see chat, because I would otherwise be blind. I wouldn't be able to see chat. But that game is what VR was made for. It's so fun. I don't know if you saw my tweet at all, but if you've ever fantasized about reaching out at something that's across the room and then having it fly towards you like you're using a Jedi trick, like you're using force grab or something, to have something fly towards you and then grab it in your hand, like it does that so well with her gravity gloves. You just reach out and it highlights the thing and you flick it, you flick your wrist and it comes flying at you and then you have to grab it. And it's so good. And the puzzles in 3D. Valve went all out with this game. It's so good. So what do we got so far? Just 2 pieces of paper that we got. Here's a 3rd piece of paper. Maybe we have gotten all the books.